Hi everyone, this is the Game Design Raccoon. My name is Arthur, and on this channel I talk game design, game tinkering, and fan-made content for Marvel Champions and other games. Today we're diving into one of the most infamous villains of Marvel Champions, Collector 1. If you've ever felt frustrated with the Infiltrate the Museum scenario, you're not alone. But do not worry, I've got a solution to make this villain much more enjoyable to play against. In this video we'll look at the main issues with Collector 1, my proposed fixes, what they bring to the table, and how you can try them out by yourself. Stick around until the end of the video to get a link to the free modified rules. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell button to encourage me doing more content like this one. And let's get started. Whether you play solo, two-handed, at 2, 3 or 4 players, the problem is always the same. Imagine this, you're pretty close to winning. During the villain phase, you exhausted your hero to defense and not lose to damage. Then, you just discarded your Avengers Mansion to a treachery, classic collector one. One more card in the collection, and you lose even though the win is in your grasp. On your turn, you need to remove a card from the collection so you can defend with your Mockingbird ally, because she will then go into the collection too. You're exhausted, so you can only spend 2 resources to remove a card from the collection, but if you do that, you're left with 3 cards in hand that you cannot play because they are too expensive or alter ego only. You still do it, you have no choice. But you lost 3 cards doing nothing else this turn, and you will feel very frustrated. And then, you probably will lose anyway to another treachery. This is why a lot of people hate the Collector 1. Also, if you're playing the wrong hero, you will get crushed by Collector 1. Nebula simply cannot play her technique upgrades here, which, I mean, why are you even playing Nebula at this point, right? Same with Black Widow, or Preparation card in general, or Cyclops temporary upgrades, Colossus Organic Steel upgrades, the Rocket Raccoon's weapons, the Nightcrawler's bombs, and a few other upgrades that discards themselves. And yet, I actually like this scenario, it's just that it grew on me after I started tweaking it a bit about a year ago maybe. I like that you have to restrain yourself from using allies and one-use upgrades, even more if you use a very minion or side scheme heavy modular set. But it can be very overwhelming. The baked-in solution to spend 2 resources or exhaust your hero is fine, but a lot of the time you will either not have the opportunity to do any of the 2, or sometimes you will have too many resources already effect and will be frustrated because you can't make a good use of it. I found that often you're willing to give up your whole turn just to not lose to the collection, because you're doing fine, but you simply drew the wrong encounter cards. And I think this is the part where it feels unfair. It's too easy to add cards to the collection, but too hard, or rather too slow, to remove them. It's easier in multiplayer games, but not that much easier. Now, let's talk solutions. Here is the rule tweak I propose to make Collector 1 more balanced, less frustrating, and ultimately more fun. Change the limit once per turn per player to twice per turn per player. This is, I find, a very simple but elegant fix. I playtested a few times at different player counts. It worked wonders every time and keeps the essence of what makes Collector 1 unique. It does make the game easier, but not by a huge margin. You still have to pay to or exhaust your hero, and you still have to restrain yourself from using upgrades and allies. But now you can delve into either the rich or the ready strategies a bit more. What it really brings is the ability to do bigger control turns instead of falling behind when you miss even one turn of removing a card from the collection. Now you can say to yourself, it's okay, I missed that turn, I'll do 2 cards a turn for the next 2 turns and I should be fine. It makes it more permissive and it feels fairer because you're not limited by a rule that often feels arbitrary. In the previous example, now I can just spend 4 cards to remove 2 cards from the collection, and I don't feel too bad with my turn as I know this is part of the scenario to sacrifice cards this way. If my name is Quicksilver, I can exhaust twice instead or do a mix of both. Much more flexible and rewarding for the player in my opinion. I created a nice environment card for you to print or keep on your phone while playing the Collector 1. You might also just remember it, but I find that a physical card is more classy, feels more immersive, and adds, let's say, a more professional touch to such a house rule. If you really find it too easy, you can change it to limit twice per turn per player. Each player cannot exhaust this way more than once per turn, and each player cannot spend 2 resources this way more than once per turn. It is much longer, less elegant, but forces you to have a more versatile deck. However, I would still encourage you to try this version on the screen right now. Okay, that's it for today's video. Don't go yet, check the description for the PNG of the Secret Corridors environment with this simple rule modification for Collector 1. If you try this tweak, I'd love to hear how it works for you in the comments below, or anything really, just comment to get YouTube's attention. Also like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Another marvelous addition to my collection. Oh, wait. This one says, remove 1 card from the collection when someone subscribes? Oh, interesting.